This is potential pond site, like you do an actual swimming pool here.
There's a digger operator behind me filling in a trench that we just explored to look at the type of soil to prepare for water management and earthworks. Potential pond systems, linking up a recreational pond with tilapia fish pond, natural filtration pond. Here's an insight into the process and kind of like what things you're considering when looking at designing a system like this and what are the practical things to be looking for and assessing in the landscape. So hope you find this valuable. I certainly have with Scott here from Porvenir Design. Dug a pit, test the soil.
You can feel a little bit of sand, gravel in this. There's little pieces.
What have we just done here, Scott?
Yeah, so this is a test slice. Learn how to do this from the folks at Water Story, Zach Weiss, Elemental Ecosystems. This is potential pond site, like you do an actual swimming pool here. And so what we did, we had our machine operator dig the deepest trench he could dig, and we were like the hottest, driest time of the year, which in this climate isn't that dry. But we do see water at the very bottom. That's pretty deep down. That's like, I don't know, what is that, like 5 meters down? Yeah. We'd have to dig the pond really deep to hit that, but it's interesting. There's a vein of water somewhere down there. And then we're looking at the soil horizons, mostly to see if there's like a really rocky layer, a sandy layer, like a high gravel layer that would cause problems. And then we can look at the different profiles and to see the clay content. We just add a little water to this, and so you can see like how much I can form like the little worm with that. So that's a sign that it's like a really high clay content. See, there's a little bit of breakage. I can feel the sand in here. Like you can really feel it, but it's very small amounts. And then if we come over, like, this is probably from higher up. You can feel how wet this is. Like it's pretty wet still. You're gonna give me a little more water? Let's just feel what a couple of different ones feel like. But this is less clay. Feels like organic material. It doesn't feel like. Is that a volcanic layer?
Could be ash.
All right. That could be ash. That's interesting. We are very much in volcano land.
Yeah, 100%.
And what does that mean with respect to drainage, pond systems?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Probably not amazing, I would guess.
But it's like the only things that make me really worried are stone.
Why is that?
Porosity. Yeah.
Just draining right through?
Yeah, like after about 1.5 meters, it starts really becoming a heavy clay. So what that means is in the construction, you're separating everything.
Yeah, you want to keep a nice bank of clay so you can come back and make...
Yeah, well, you really make it like in the dam wall, you put in what's called a keyway.
Next week, we got a 2-hour water course happening live with Sam from Porvenir Design, all about how to manage water on your site, on your farm, how to incorporate water design into your food forest, your agroforestry system, just making the most of your property. So one of the first things you want to think about in design, access and water. Come to the course next week, 2 hours, mini lesson and a big Q&A, only $40. You get access to that and everything else that's on the school platform. Classes, lessons, recorded Q&A calls, Food Forest Fellowship on school. See you there.
It's like halfway through that wall, you keep a little narrow slit like this, and then you pack clay into that. Oh. And so it's not so much that you're like lining it with clay, but this downhill wall, you're tamping clay into that. Yeah.
Starting deep like this.
Yeah. Yeah, ideally that depth, there's like calculations for this, but if like the bottom of the pond's here, your keyway is going to be a little bit lower than that.
Just to give it a little bit of almost like a footing.
Yeah. But because we're pulling water from upstream, and we're confident that we can have a constant flow of water in here, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
I think this thing will stay nice. We get rain so much here. We could recirculate water from further down if we needed to.
Yeah.
I picked here because it's right at the key point. So it's right where the slope just stops. So any sedimentation over the years has really been focused here. So this is where you would start to see more like layers of deposits more distinctly. You should see them in this space.
Scott, for those really free draining sites where it's just not clay at all, what options exist?
You could use a liner, which we've used before for tilapia, and we've used in a natural swimming pool before. And sorry, I'm watching this here. I'm just trying to communicate. You could import clay.
Would that be for the foot, or that would still be for like a liner, both of them? You're just like not interested in that sort of solution?
Yeah, you're forcing it, man. You're forcing it. It's like, it's probably not a good site for that. Like, build a swimming pool. Use cement. There's another technique that, again, I don't know how well it really works, but it's called glaying, Gleying. You hear about it in countries like Russia, and that would be where you would line the edge of your pond, newly constructed pond, with fencing, and you keep pigs in it. And then you start layering organic material in that, and the pigs will slowly start working that organic material in with the soil. And what can happen is it can form a layer, like an anaerobic layer of microorganisms that can become impervious. And so that's called glaying. I've not personally seen it done. It's a thing you hear about and read about. I suspect it would only work in soils that still have some clay content. But maybe soils that are still have more sand, it would be a good option for people to explore. Yeah.
And I guess what other things are you looking for and considering when you're looking at this kind of level of earthwork?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about upslope and downslope. What above, like there's a parking lot going to be above, all right? What are the implications of that? Is that going to create runoff that's gross into here? I'm thinking about what's downslope, what are the implications of moving soil? Are we disconnecting some aspect of this watershed from something important downstream? Thinking about where the water's coming from, and so in this case we're going to be able to use gravity to feed this, and then we'll be able to use gravity on the overflow where it'll connect up with to what we think are a series of really old tilapia ponds, like probably 20 plus years. It's hard to tell. They almost look like a little marshy wetland, and the creek that we'll draw from is up here, and the creek that we'll exit into is the same creek, and it'll really be a small distance. The creek, it kind of travels around here and then loops back. So we're almost making a shorter line, and we'll pull up a small percentage. We'll do an analysis to see how much water we need, and that'll inform how the water's captured in there. Then it comes down to, the material that we have for construction, and does Rob have enough money to do this? So. And then the use, like if this is for tilapia, I'm thinking about it differently. Size, materials, access, like how do people get here from where they are? But the goal here is a natural swimming pool, which is pretty exciting for us. That's something we've built one before, and we'd like to build more. And it's a really nice bowl, and the infrastructure for this project will be up on the ridge. So this will be like the central key feature. Large pond with a natural swimming pool placed within it. And if everything goes as planned, which it never does, we would do this next January, February 2025. What's going on?
So come here for that course and learn how to do that.
Natural swimming pool course. Maybe we turn into a course. I don't know. We wouldn't teach it, but that would be fun to.
Well, just get an expert facilitator, make it happen, be there. Yeah. Super exciting.
A workshop.
Yeah, real exciting to see how this stuff is thought about. Hopefully find this valuable. Keep growing.